BSBSUS501. Develop workplace policy and procedures for sustainability. Part 2. Chapter 2. Implement a sustainability policy. Rolling out a policy in any business is a highly disruptive process. It's critical to ensure that policy implementation is a considered and a measured event to minimize adverse impact to a business, and to ensure maximum trust from the staff. When done correctly, policies have a much greater opportunity to achieve their key outcomes. Communicate a new policy. Before the implementation of the sustainability policy, it will be necessary to communicate the policy, expected outcomes and expected benefits to all stakeholders, including staff and employees. This process of communicating the policy may take some time. In some cases, this modification can be so severe that retraining of employee and stakeholder belief may be a longer-term prospect. The severity of the modification would of course depend upon how any corporate culture has acted towards environmental issues in the past. For a company who has essentially ignored environmental issues, the employees may be accustomed to dealing with scrap and other materials in a way that is directly harmful to the environment. Asking the employees to adopt a new attitude and mode of thinking overnight is asking a lot of them. There are two parts to delivering the key message. 1. Communicating the new policy. 2. Educating stakeholders in the reasons and advantages of the new policy. Motivational methods are needed to communicate the new policy. The policy is likely to be met with skepticism and negativity otherwise. A new attitude and way of thinking are the goal. Change is difficult for many people. To overcome skepticism and negativity, stakeholders must be educated about the proposed policy's benefits. People are more likely to become part of the team once they understand the benefits and needs of the new policy. Internal stakeholders. It would be beneficial to use a variety of different methodologies to communicate the new policy to internal stakeholders. These could include posters, announcements, whether audio, video or in person, meetings, discussion sessions where people can raise their concerns and ask questions, stakeholders outside of the company. For stakeholders outside of the company, utilize all the methods the company normally uses to communicate with them, including advertising, website, newsletters, formal reports to government stakeholders. Two major elements of the implementation process are promotion and translating the policy into outcomes that can be measured. The policy must be promoted internally and externally. Implementing the policy requires collaboration from multiple directions. It is possible that productivity may be temporarily disrupted by any change in the environment. Training and communication can assist in explaining the basis of sustainability. Translating policies into goals based on outcomes can help solidify them. Forcing a sustainable value onto staff would be immoral. Training and communication can assist in explaining the basis of sustainability policies to staff in the hopes that the value will be adopted. Sustainable values, however, may not be ingrained in everyone. Policy implementation should be based on expected outcomes, not on value-based decisions. Results are concrete. Behavior drives them. Philosophy, moral judgment, or belief are not necessary. Sustainability policy. Every task, which is part of implementing a sustainability policy, needs to be assigned to a specific person who is responsible for completing and reporting it. For a departmental task, that would be the department manager or supervisor. As the main point of contact with that department, we can keep relevant personnel updated. Include not only the activity to be undertaken, but the anticipated outcome of that action, when informing different departments about the sustainability policy. The more people understand what they are doing, the more likely they are to do it right. They will also have ideas about how to implement something as they work on it. It is their opinion about areas they understand better. Outcomes. Outcomes should always be specific. Vague statements of expected outcome will result in vague results, possibly not the results needed. If there is a minimum acceptable level that is needed, be sure to state it in measurable terms, so that there is no confusion. Develop procedures to support policy. In some companies, policies and procedures are combined into one. However, they are better conveyed if they are a separate set of documents. Policies are created by senior leaders and determine the direction of the company. Procedures are created in conjunction with workers and demonstrate how specific tasks that are necessary for that direction will be accomplished. Establish continuous improvement. Policy and procedure implementation should consider how to continuously improve, and how iterations of change will be managed over time. It's one thing to collect data, but it's another to critically analyze it and adjust in changes to your policy once it's live. A simple model for continuous improvement is the plan, do, check, act, PDCA cycle.